In this question, we have to find sum of the infinite series. So first of all, I'm going to open up the bracket. That is going to give me 1 by 5 square minus 1 by 5 into 7 plus 1 by 5 power 4 minus 1 by 5 square into 7 square. Next, it will be 1 by 5 to the power 6 minus 1 by 5 cube into 7 cube. And this is going to continue till infinite number of terms. So this series is basically made up of two infinite GP. So I'm going to split this and write it as 1 by 5 square plus 1 by 5 to the power 4 plus 1 by 5 to the power 6, continue till infinite number of terms, and a minus taken common outside. So next series it will be 1 by 5 into 7 plus 1 by 5 square into 7 square plus 1 by 5 cube into 7 cube, continue till infinite number of terms. So we have the formula for calculating sum of infinite GP as a divided by 1 minus r. So a is going to be 1 by 5 square here, r is also 1 by 5 square, minus first term is 1 by 5 into 7, r is also 1 by 5 into 7. When simplified, this is going to be a 1 by 25, this is going to be a 24 by 25, and 1 by 35 divided by a 34 by 35. So 25 25 remove, 35 35 knocked off, so I'm going to get 1 by 24 minus 1 by 34. When simplified, the answer is going to be 5 divided by 408. So option B is the answer for this question. Now in this question, a company has 40 employees whose names are listed in a certain order. In the year 2022, the average bonus of the first 30 employees was rupees 40,000 and the last 30 employees was rupees 60,000, and that of the first 10 and the last 10 employees put together will be having an average of 50,000. Next year, the average bonus of the first 10 employees increased by 100%, and of the last 10 employees increased by 200%, and of the remaining employees' salary remains unchanged. Then the average bonus in rupees of all 40 employees together in 2023 is my question. So let me take some variables here. So for employees, I'm going to put them into groups of 10. So for the first 10 employees, I'm going to keep it as X, or let me put it as A. And next 10, that is 11 to 20, it is B. 21 to 30, it is C. 31 to 40, it is D. And it said that A plus B plus C should give me a total of how much? 30 employees. Average salary is 40,000. That makes a total of 40,000 into 30. And last 30 employees, that is B plus C plus D, which is going to be 60,000 into 30. Let me take this as first equation and this as the second equation. So if I subtract these two, what do I get? A minus D will be equal to a minus 20,000 into 30. Okay, let me take this as third equation. And is also said that the average of the first 10 and the last 10 employees put together, that means A plus D should give me a total of how much? 50,000. That is 50,000 into a 20. So let me take this as fourth equation. So adding third and the fourth, it is going to give me 2 times of A to be equal to a 4 lakh. That means the total salary of the first 10 employees is going to be 2 lakh. Okay. Now substituting A in any one of the equation, that is in any one of third or the fourth equation, so I'll get D as what? D will be 8 lakh. That is the bonus of the last 30 employees, which is going to be 8 lakh. Now in 2023 there is an increment of 100% for the first 10 employees. So A will become what? A will be a 2 lakh. Increase of 100% means it will become 2 times, right? So it is equal to 2, which is going to give me a 4 lakh. Now that of the last 10 employees, it is going to increase by 200%. That means it is becoming 3 times. So 8 lakh into 3, which is going to be a 24 lakh. And salary of the remaining people remains unchanged. So that means A plus B plus C plus D, the average bonus in year 2023 is going to be how much? A 4 lakh plus B and D remain unchanged. So if I take A and substitute in the first equation, B and C will become what? I'll take A and substituting in the first equation. So that is going to give me a B plus C to be a 10 lakh. Okay. So substituting 10 lakh here plus 24 lakh and dividing the sum by a 40, the average bonus is going to be 95,000. So option A is the answer for this question. In this question, Amal and Vimal can complete a task in 150 days, while Vimal and Sunil together can complete a task in the same task in 100 days. Amal starts working on the task and works for 75 days, and Vimal takes over and works for 135 days. Finally, Sunil takes over and completes the remaining task in 45 days. If Amal had started the task alone and worked on all days, Vimal had worked on every second day and Sunil had worked on every third day, then the number of days required to complete the task would have been is my question. So the task is completed by Amal and Vimal in 150 days. And the same work is done by Vimal and Sunil together in 100 days. So let me quantify the work. I'm going to take the total work as 300 units because it gets easily cancelled by 150 and 100. You can also keep it as 600. The answer is not going to change. And that makes the per day efficiency of Amal and Vimal together as 2 units per day. 300 by 150. Now similarly, this is going to be a 300 by 100, which will be 3 units per day. Now Amal started the work and worked for 75 days. So 75 times of A, and Sunil takes over and works for 135 days. So 135 ml, and Sunil takes over and completes the remaining work in 45 days. So it is going to be 45s. Together they are completing the entire work, which is should be equal to 300. So I'm going to modify such that I can apply the efficiency of Amal and Vimal and Sunil. Okay. So 75A plus 75V plus 45V plus a 45S plus a 15S. So I'm modifying this manner because I can apply Amal and Vimal efficiency and Vimal and Sunil efficiency together in this equation. So let me take 75 common, Amal and Vimal, 45 common outside, Vimal and Sunil, plus 15 times of this will be Vimal. Vimal is equal to a 300. Now substituting the values, 75 into 2 plus 45 into 3 plus 15 Vimal is equal to 300. So which is 150 plus 135 plus 15 times Vimal is going to be 300. That means 15 times of Vimal is going to be a 15. Vimal is going to be 1 unit per day. So if Vimal can do 1 unit in a day, then Amal work will also become 1 unit. And Sunil work will become 2 units per day. And now they are doing the work in parts. So Amal is working on the first day, and Vimal will be working on every second day. That means Amal and Vimal together work on the second day, will be completing 2 units, and third day Sunil will be working, so they will be completing 4 units. So this will be 3, and next day Amal and Vimal will be working, so 2 units. Next day Amal will be working 1 unit. Next day Amal, Vimal plus Sunil will be working totally 4 units. So in a total of 6 days, how many units has been completed? 13 units has been completed. So 13 units is completed in 6 days, and we require to complete how many units? 300 units, but 300 is not a multiple of 13. So let me take a value closer to 300 and also a multiple of 13, so which is going to be a 299 units, which is nothing but 23 times of 13. So right hand side should also be multiplied by 23, so that is going to give me 138 days, but the total work has not been completed. So we have one more unit, and on the 138th day, who would have worked? Amal, Vimal and Sunil would have worked, and on the next day Amal will be coming for work and will be doing 1 unit. So total 300 units is completed in 139 days. So 139 will be the answer for this question. Now in this question, Anil invests rupees 22,000 for 6 years in a scheme with 4% interest per annum. compounded on half-yearly basis. Separately, Sunil invests a certain amount in the same scheme for 5 years and then reinvests the entire amount he receives at the end of the 5th year for 1 year at 10% simple interest. If the amounts received by both at the end of the 6 years are equal, then the initial investment in rupees made by Sunil is my question. Now let me talk about Anil first. So the amount received by Anil at the end of the 6th year is going to be how much? Now principal is 22,000 and number of years is 6 years and rate of interest is 4% per annum. But the interest is charged on half yearly basis. So let me modify this question. So 22,000. So 6 years will be having 12 6 months, and if for 12 months 4% means for 6 months it is going to be 2%. So that means the total amount that is going to be received by Amal at the end of the 6th year is going to be how much? A equal to a P into 1 plus R by 100 to the power n. That is, amount will be 22,000 into 1 plus 2 by 100 to the power 12. Okay. Now Sunil. Now Sunil invests certain amount. Let me take the amount as X and he is investing for 5 years. But interest is charged on half yearly basis. That means 5 years will have 10 6 months and rate of interest will be 2% for every 6 months. So amount received at the end of the 5th year is going to be how much? P into 1 plus R by 100 to the power 10. That means amount will be equal to X into 1 plus 2 by 100 to the power 10. And this is the amount that is available with Sunil at the end of the 5th year. But he is going to reinvest this amount in a scheme which is going to earn him 10% simple interest. So that means the final amount at the end of the 6th year will be what? Your principal plus a 10% interest, which is going to be 1.1. And they've said that the total amount received by both of them at the end of the 6th year is equal. That means 22,000 into 1 plus 2 by 100 to the power 12 should be equal to X into 1 plus 2 by 100 to the power 10 into 1.1. Now let me simplify this. Simplifying this is going to give me, this entire thing will get cancelled. I have 2 as an exponent. 22,000 into 1.02 the whole power 2 equal to X into 1.1. That means X will be equal to 22,000 into 1.0404 divided by a 1.1. So that makes Sunil investment to be a 2808. So option C is the answer for this question. Now in this question, a fruit seller has a stock of mangoes, bananas and apples with at least one fruit of each type. So it can't be zero. No fruit can be zero. At the beginning of a day, the number of mangoes make up 40% of his stock. That day he sells half of the mangoes, 96 bananas and 40% of the apples. At the end of the day, he ends up selling 50% of the fruits. The smallest possible total number of fruits in the stock at the beginning of the day is my question. Now let me take the total fruits as 100x. Total fruits, I'm going to keep it as 100x. And out of the total fruits, 40% are mangoes. So mangoes is equal to 40% of 100x, which is going to be 40x. And number of bananas and apples are not given, so I'm going to keep it as such, B and A. Now that day he sells half of the mangoes. That means half of 40x. So he is selling 20x mangoes, okay, and 96 bananas and 40% of the apples. So I've kept apples as apples itself. So that means 40% is nothing but 2 by 5 of apples. And at the end of the day, he ends up selling 50% of the fruits. That means out of the total fruits, 100x, we have taken that as 100x, 50% is sold. So this should be equal to 50%. That means 20x plus 96 plus 2 by 5a should be equal to 50x. That makes 30x to be equal to 96 plus 2 by 5 times of a. Okay. And we are required to calculate the smallest possible total number of fruits at the beginning of the day. That means we have to find out the smallest possible value of 100x. So for that to be smallest possible value, x should be smallest possible value, right? So the minimum value of x is what? So we have to ideally find 100x, the smallest value of 100x. So let me convert this as 10x first. So this is going to give me a 32 plus 2 by 15a. Okay, and I have to find the value of 100x now, so I'm going to multiply this equation by 100. So this is going to be 100x, a 320 plus 20 times of 15a, 20 by 15 times of a. So for 100x to be minimum most value, the smallest possible value, a has to be the smallest possible value, and the number of fruits has to be an integral value. It can't be decimal, right? So that means I'm going to assume the smallest possible value of a as 15, because if I take any other value less than 15 or greater than 15, which is not a multiple of 15, is going to give me a value which will be in decimal. So the smallest possible value of a will be 15. So if a is 15, 100x will become what? A 320 plus 20 by 15 into 15. So 15 gets cancelled. So minimum value of total number of fruits will be what? 320 plus 20, which is going to be 340. So that will be the answer for this question, 340. Now in this question, ABCD is a trapezium in which AB is parallel to CD. The sides AB and BC are extended and they are going to intersect at point E. If AB equal to 2 centimeter and CD equal to 1 centimeter and perimeter of ABCD is 6 centimeter, then the perimeter in centimeter of triangle AEB is question. So from the information given, I'm going to make the construction. So AB and CD is a trapezium. Sides AD and BC are extended and they are going to meet at point E. So the figure will look like this. And DC is parallel to AB and AB is given as 2 centimeter and DC is 1 centimeter. By just looking at the figure itself, we'll be able to recollect a famous theorem. So when DC is parallel to AB and DC is going to cut the sides AE and EB. That means D and B will be the midpoints of the sides. That means it is going to divide the sides into two equal halves. That means AD will be equal to BC and ED will also be equal to EC. Now I am going to take the two equal sides of the trapezium as A. And the perimeter of the trapezium is given as 6 centimeter. Perimeter is nothing but sum of the sides. So A plus 1 plus A plus 2 should give me a 6. That is 2A plus 3 should give me a 6. 2A should be equal to 3. That means A is equal to 1.5. That means AD is equal to 1.5. Therefore, ED will also be 1.5 and similarly EC will also be 1.5. Now, perimeter of the triangle AEB will be sum of the sides AE plus EB plus AB, which is going to be a 1.5 plus 1.5 because D is the midpoint. So these two sides will become 1.5. So total length of AE is 3 centimeter. EB is also 3 and AB is 2. That makes the perimeter of triangle AEB to be 8 centimeter. Option B is the answer for this question. Now in this question, m and n are natural numbers such that n is greater than 1 and m power n is equal to 2 power 25 into 3 power 40. Then m minus n equals what? Now given question is m to the power n is equal to 2 to the power 25 into 3 to the power 40. To combine these two, to combine the right hand side expression, I need something in common. So my exponent has to be a common value. So what is the highest common value among 25 and 40? So which will be 5. So I'm going to express this as powers of 5. So this can be written as 2 power 5 to the power 5 and this is written as 3 to the power 8 to the power 5. Now using one of the law of exponent, so if a power m into b power m is given, then I can write this as a into b the whole power m. Then I can write this m power n to be what? 2 power 5 into 3 power 8 to the power 5. Now what is 2 power 5? 2 power 5 is 32. and 3 power 8 is what? 6561 to the power whole power 5. So if I multiply the base value, m power n will become what? A 20,992 to the power 5. Now we are required to calculate the value of m minus n, which is equal to a 20,952 minus 5. So the answer will be 20,947. So option C is the answer for this question. So in this question, A, B and C are positive real numbers such that A is greater than 10, greater than or equal to B, greater than or equal to C, and a logarithmic expression is equal to 2 by 3. Then the greatest integral value of A is question. So from the given information, I know that B and C can take a maximum value of what? 10. And I want to modify the given expression to solve for A. So I can write the given expression as what? Log of A plus B by log 8. Similarly, your denominator can be written as log of C log of 2 plus log of A minus B by log of 27 by log of C by log of 3. I can write log of 8 as log of 2 power 3, which can be written as 3 into log of 2. So this can be written as log of A plus B by 3 into log of 2, and reciprocating the denominator I get log of 2 by log of C plus log of A minus B. 27 can also be written as 3 times of log of 3. This will become log of 3 by log of C, should be equal to a 2 by 3. Now log of 2 cancels, log of 3 is knocked off, so remaining I'll get log of A plus B plus log of A minus B divided by 3 times of log of C, which should be equal to 2 by 3. 3 gets cancelled. So I can combine the numerator and write as what? Log of A square minus B square should be equal to 2 times of log of C. Log of A square minus B square is equal to log of C square. That means A square minus B square should be equal to a C square, or A square equal to C square plus B square. Now I need to find the greatest integral value of A. So for A to be the maximum value, C and B should be at the maximum most value. So maximum value of C and B will be 10. So A square equal to a 10 square plus a 10 square. So A square equal to 200. That means A will be square root of 200, which is going to give me a 14.1. But we are looking at the greatest integral value of A. So greatest integer which is less than 14.1, which is going to be 14. So the answer for this question is 14. Now in this question, all the values of x satisfying the inequality is being questioned and all options are in range. So we'll determine which option is our correct answer. So we'll choose values of x in the given range and check whether the inequality holds true or not. Let me take x equal to 1 and substitute in this inequality. Upon substituting, this will become 1 divided by 1 plus 5 less than or equal to 1 divided by 2 into 1 minus 3. So 1 by 6 less than or equal to 1 by minus 1. So 1 by 6 is never less than equal to minus 1. That means the option that has x equal to 1 in the range must be removed. That means option A and option B are removed. Now our answer has to be either C or D. Now let me change the value of x to 9. If I keep this as 9, what happens? 1 by 1 plus 9 less than or equal to 2 into 9 minus 3. So 1 by 9 plus 5, which will become 14, less than or equal to 18 minus 3. So 1 by 14 will be never less than or equal to 1 by 15. That means the option which has x equal to 9, if x equal to 9 itself is not coming, x value being greater than 9 will not come. That means option D can't come. So which is our answer? Option C is the answer for this question. Now in this question, x and y satisfy the equation. The two equations are given and we are required to calculate the value of x minus y. Now I'm going to talk about the values inside the modulus. I'm going to keep both the values, that is x also to be positive value and y also to be positive value. Then the equations will become x plus y to be equal to 15. That will give me a 2x plus y equal to 15, and in the second equation it will become x plus y minus y equal to 20. That will give me x equal to 20, a positive value and acceptable value for x. Now upon substituting this x in the first equation, 2 into 20 y equal to 15, that will give me y is equal to a minus 25, which is a negative value, not acceptable, because we have taken y to be greater than 0. Now this can't come. Now let me keep the value inside the modulus x to be positive and y to be negative. Now then the equation will become what? X plus y to be 15, a 2x plus y equal to a 15, and the second equation will be x minus of y to be equal to a 20. So x minus 2y equal to a 20. Now I'm going to solve for x and y using the two equations. This is going to be what? Multiplying the second equation by a 2. It will give me a 2x minus 4y to be equal to 40. Now if I subtract, what do I get? X gets cancelled, and this is going to be a 5y, and this will give me a minus 25, y equal to minus 5, which is an acceptable value because we have taken y to be less than 0. Now upon substituting y equal to minus 5 in any one of the equation, 2x minus 5 is equal to 15, 2x is equal to a 20, and x is equal to a 10. Again an acceptable value because we have taken x is greater than 0. Now I don't have to check for any other values of x and y because this itself is giving me the answer, and no option is saying option A and B are correct and both B and C are correct. That we have no option that says that. So that means we don't have to check any other cases. So if x value is 10 and y value is minus 5, then x minus y will become 10 minus of minus 5, which is 10 plus 5 should be equal to a 15. Option A is the answer for this question. Now in this question, we are required to calculate the value of x. So I'm going to simplify the given equation. So for that purpose, I'm going to square both sides. So squaring both sides, what do I get? So squaring the left hand side, it will be in the form of a minus b the whole square, which will give me a square plus b square, which is x minus 6 root 2, minus of 2 times of a plus b, sorry, a into b, x minus 6 root 2. And the right hand side will become what? 2 root 2 the whole square will become 8. So 6 root 2 minus 6 root 2 gets cancelled. So this left hand side will be 2x minus 2 times of, and your left hand side is a plus b into a minus b form. So it is going to be what? It is going to give me an x square minus 72 to be equal to 8. Now I can take a 2 common outside and cancel out the 8 which is at the right hand side. So that will be x minus x square minus 72 to be equal to a 4, or else I can write x minus 4 to be equal to root of x square minus 72, again squaring both sides. So ideally I have to calculate the value of x. So squaring both the sides, what do I get? Squaring both the sides, your left hand side will become what? X minus 4 the whole square, and your right hand side will be x square minus 72, and again a minus b the whole square format in the left hand side. So expanding, I get x square, b square, it will become 16 minus 2ab, it will become 8x is equal to x square minus 72. Now x square gets removed, so which is going to be 8x to be equal to 88, and x is equal to 11, and that will be the answer for this question. Now in this question, P, Q, R and S are 4 towns. One can travel between P and Q along 3 direct paths, between Q and S along 4 direct paths, and between P and R there are 4 direct paths. There is no direct path between P and S, while there are few direct paths between Q and R and between R and S. One can travel from P to S either via Q or via R or via Q followed by R respectively in exactly 62 possible ways. One can also travel from Q to R either directly or via P or via S in exactly 27 possible ways. Then the number of distinct paths between Q and R is the question. So I'm going to picturize this. I'm going to represent this in a chart. So that makes things easy to understand. So let me put P here, Q, R and S. So there are 4 direct paths. Here there are 3 direct paths. Here there are 4 direct paths. There are some direct path between Q and R. I'm going to take the number of paths to be A, and similarly between R and S to be B. Now first, moving from P to S, it is done in what all ways? From P to Q, then from Q to S, which is equal to a 3 into 4, which will give me a 12. Or I can also travel from P to R, then to S, which is going to be a 4 into B, which will give me a 4B. Or else from P to Q, followed by R, and then to S, which is going to be 3 into A into B, which is 3AB. And all the total weights, when summed up, should be equal to, according to the question, it should give 62. Let me take this as first equation. Now next, travel is from Q to R. Either it can go directly. Directly means what? A. Q to R directly is A. Or from Q to P, and then from P to R, which is going to be 3 into 4, which is 12. Or from Q to S and then to R, which is going to be a 4 into B, 4B. And now the total number of ways will be what? A plus 4B plus 12, and that should be equal to 27 according to the question. Now then the number of direct paths between Q and R, that means I have to find the value of A. Now from the second equation, I can say A plus 4B to be equal to a 15, or else 4B to be equal to 15 minus A, or B to be equal to 15 minus A by 4. Now I'm going to substitute these two values in the first expression, first equation. Now what happens? If I substitute this in the first equation, then it will become 15 minus A plus 3 into A into 15 minus A divided by 4 to be equal to 50. And simplifying this, I get 60 minus 4A plus 45A minus 3A square to be equal to 200. Now simplifying this, this is going to give me a quadratic equation that is equal to 3A square minus 41A plus 140 to be equal to 0. Now I'm going to factorize this. This can be factorized as what? 3A square minus 21A minus 20A plus 140 to be equal to 0. Now I can take a 3A common outside, which will give me a minus 7, a 20 common outside, a minus 20, so that is going to be A minus 7 equal to 0. So either it can be 3A minus 20 to be equal to 0, or A minus 7 equal to 0, which will give me, let me write here, which will give me A value to be a 20 by 3 or A value to be 7. I can't take 20 by 3 because it's not an integral value, because number of ways can't be decimals, can't be in decimals. So that means the number of possible ways from Q to R will be 7. So 7 is the answer for this question. Now in this question, when Rajesh's age was same as the present age of Garima, the ratio of their ages was 3:2. When Garima's age becomes the same as the present age of Rajesh, the ratio of the ages of Rajesh and Garima will become is the question. Now 3 timelines have been discussed in this question. Was the past tense, is the present tense, will be the future tense. And the two persons are Rajesh and Garima. And the ages of Rajesh and Garima are in the ratio 3:2. So let me take Rajesh's age as 3A and Garima age to be 2A. When Rajesh's age was same as the present age of Garima, so when Rajesh was 3A, the present age of Garima should be 3A. And when you compare the present and the past age of Garima, there is an increment of 1A. So the same will be reflected in Rajesh's age. So Rajesh's present age will become 4A. And in the next statement, when Garima age becomes same as the present age of Rajesh. So present age of Rajesh is 4A. So when Garima becomes 4A, that means an increment of 1 more A. So the same will be reflected in Rajesh's age. So Rajesh will become 5A. So Rajesh and Garima age will become what? 5A and 4A, and the ratio between these two is question. So AA gets cancelled. So 5:4. So that will be the answer for this question, option A. Now in this question, the roots alpha beta of the equation 3x square plus lambda x minus 1 equal to 0. If alpha and beta are the roots of the given quadratic equation, comparing with the general form of the quadratic equation, I can say A is equal to 3, B to be lambda and C to be minus 1. And I can say sum of the roots to be equal to minus B by A, which is going to be minus lambda by 3, and alpha beta is going to be a C by A, which is going to be minus 1 by 3. And we have also provided with 1 by alpha square, 1 by beta square equal to 15, and we are required to calculate the value of alpha cube plus beta cube the whole square. So first of all, what is alpha cube plus beta cube? I can write alpha cube plus beta cube as alpha plus beta the whole cube minus 3 alpha beta into alpha plus beta. So if I know the value of alpha plus beta, I can calculate the value of alpha cube plus beta cube, because alpha beta value is minus 1 by 3, but alpha plus beta has minus lambda. Lambda is there, I don't know the value of lambda in the derivation, in the inference that has been derived. Now let me use the expression that is given to us. The equation 1 by alpha square plus 1 by beta square is equal to 15 will give me a beta square plus alpha square equal to 15 alpha square beta square. I can add a 2 alpha beta on either side so that I can modify this equation and write it as what? Alpha plus beta the whole square, because alpha plus beta values to be found here, then only I can find the value of alpha cube plus beta cube. So this is going to be a 15 into alpha beta the whole square plus 2 alpha beta. Now I know the value of alpha beta. Alpha beta is minus 1 by 3. So alpha plus beta the whole square is equal to 15 into minus 1 by 3 the whole square plus 2 into minus 1 by 3. That is going to give me a 15 by 9 minus a 6 by 9, which is going to be a 9 by 9 equal to 1. That means alpha plus beta the whole square is going to be 1. That means alpha plus beta is going to be either plus 1 or minus 1. Now we'll take both the cases into account. If I keep alpha plus beta equal to 1, then alpha cube plus beta cube is equal to alpha plus beta the whole cube, which is 1 cube, sorry, this should be a cube here, 1 cube minus 3 into minus 1 by 3 into 1, which is going to be a 1 plus 3 by 3, which is equal to 2. Then alpha cube plus beta cube the whole square will become a 4. This is the first case. Now let's say in the second case, let me write alpha plus beta value equal to minus 1. Then alpha cube plus beta cube will become what? Minus 1 the whole cube minus 3 into minus 1 by 3 into a minus 1, which is going to give me a minus 1 minus 3 by 3, which is going to be a minus 2, and alpha cube plus beta cube the whole square is going to be minus 2 the whole square, which will still give me the same answer, which is equal to 4. So option B is the answer for this question. Now in this question, if x and y are real numbers such that 4x square plus 4y square minus 4xy minus 6y plus 3 equal to 0, then the value of 4x plus 5y is the question. Now I'm going to make some modification to group the terms. So 4x square minus 4xy plus a 4y square minus 6y plus 3 to be equal to 0. Now I'm going to write this as 2x the whole square minus 2 times of 2x into y. Why am I writing in this form? Because if I'm able to write this in the form of a square minus 2ab plus b square, then I can group them and write it as a minus b the whole square. So if y is your b term, then I need a y square here. And the remaining terms will be 3y square minus 6y plus 3 to be equal to 0. Now I can group the three terms as what? 2x minus y the whole square and a 3 common outside, that is going to be y square minus 2y plus 1 to be equal to 0. Now 2x minus y the whole square plus 3 times of y minus 1 the whole square. Now in this equation, this is a perfect square, 3 multiplied by a perfect square, and sum of these two expressions should be equal to 0. So there is only one possible way of achieving a 0. That means individually they should be equal to 0. So 2x minus y the whole square should be equal to 0. So from this I can write 2x minus y to be 0 and 2x equal to y. And also 3 into y minus 1 the whole square to be 0, or y minus 1 the whole square to be 0, or y minus 1 to be equal to 0, or y equal to 1. And we are required to calculate the value of 4x plus 5y. Now if 2x equal to y, then 4x will be equal to 2y. So in the place of 4x I can put y plus 5y equal to 7y. So we are required to calculate the value of 7y, and y value is equal to 1. That means 7 into 1. The answer for this question will be 7. Now in this question, a vessel contains a certain amount of solution of acid and water. When 2 liters of water was added to it, the new solution had 50% acid concentration. When 15 liters of acid was further added to the solution, the final solution had 80% acid concentration. The ratio of water and acid in the original solution was is my question. So ratio of water to acid is the question. Now let me take the initial mixture as original solution. Okay. Now this original solution has some amount of acid and some amount of water. Now to this I am going to add 2 liters of water. Then this mixture, in this mixture I am going to take this mixture as what? X liter. The acid concentration is 50%. So in X liter I am going to talk about acid 50%, and I am going to add to this, I am going to add 15 liters of acid, pure acid. And in pure acid, the strength of acid is going to be, the concentration of acid is going to be 100%. And in the resultant mixture, the acid concentration is 80%. So using the concept of deficit and surplus, so deficit should always be equal to surplus. That means 80 minus 50 into x should be equal to 100 minus 80 into a 15. So this will be a 30x equal to a 20 into 15. So which is going to be what? Cancelling out, I get 2x equal to 10. Sorry, 2x equal to 20, x will be equal to 10. So after adding 2 liters, I get total of 10 liters. Okay. Now in this 10 liter, we have 50% acid concentration. That means acid to water ratio is 1:1. That means acid will be 5 liter and water is also 5 liter. This 10 liter is obtained by after adding 2 liters of water. So before adding 2 liters of water, water would have been 3 liters, right? So acid to water initially in the original solution is 5 liter is to 3 liter. But what is question? Ratio of water to acid is question. So be careful in marking the answer, because 5:3 is also given in the options and 3:5 is also given in the options. So we are required to calculate the ratio between water to acid. So 3:5. Option C is the answer for this question. Now in this question, the coordinates of the three vertices of a triangle are 1, 2, 7, 2 and 1, 10 are given. Then the radius of the in circle of the triangle is the question. Now we'll try to roughly plot this. So this is going to be a 1, 2 and this will be a 7, 2 and this will be a 1, 10. So horizontal displacement of how much? 6 units. A vertical displacement of 8 units. So clearly this is what type of triangle? A right angle triangle, because it satisfies the Pythagoras theorem. So this will be what? Eventually this will become 8 square plus 6 square the whole root, which is going to be square root of 100. So this is going to be a 10. Okay. Then the radius of in circle of a right angle triangle, it is going to be what? Now in radius, by formula we have in radius is equal to area of the triangle by semi perimeter, that is half of the perimeter. So for a right angle triangle, what is area? half into base is 6, height is 8. Divide by semi perimeter, half of the perimeter, that means 8 plus 6 plus 10, the whole divide by 2. So this is going to be a 48 divided by a 24. So end radius is going to be 2 units. So that will be the answer for this question. Now, a bus starts at 9 a.m. and follows a fixed route every day. One day it traveled at a constant speed of 60 km per hour and reached its destination 3.5 hours later than its scheduled arrival time. Next day, it traveled two-thirds of its route in one-third of its total scheduled travel time and the remaining part of the route at 40 km per hour to reach just on time. So bus reaches on time. The scheduled arrival time of the bus. So the usual time is the question. Now let me take the total distance as d and the scheduled arrival time as t. Now if this distance is covered at a speed of 60 km per hour, it is taking 3.5 hours more than the scheduled time. That means your distance is nothing but 60 times of t plus 3.5. Now in this distance, two-thirds of the distance, that means two-thirds of 60 into t plus 3.5. So distance will become what? 40 into t plus 3.5 is reached in one-third of the scheduled travel time. So one-third of the scheduled travel time will be t by 3. Okay, and the remaining distance will become what? 20, because for out of 60 t plus 3.5, 40 into t plus 3.5 has been covered. So remaining it will be what? 20 into t plus 3.5, and this is covered at a speed of 40 kilometer per hour. So then the time for this part alone, time taken for this travel will be distance by time taken, which is going to be a t plus 3.5 divided by a 2, and both the time taken put together should give me the overall scheduled time, because it is reaching on time. So overall scheduled time is t. So if I take LCM, what do I get? I get a 3t plus a 2t, sorry, this should be 2t, a 2t, a 3t plus 10.5 by a 6 should be equal to t. So that means 5t plus 10.5 is equal to 6t, and 6t minus 5t will be equal to a 10.5, and t will be equal to 10.5. That is the usual time taken for covering this distance. Now the bus is starting at 9 a.m. plus 10.5 hours, that is going to be 7:30 p.m. Option B is the answer for this question. Now in this question, what will be the remainder when 3 power 333 is divided by 11? Whenever you are required to find the remainder, so you modify the given question such that dividing the numerator by 11 or dividing the numerator by a divisor should give you a remainder of either plus 1 or 0 or minus 1. So you have to carry out the modification such that it gives these as the remainder. So first I am going to identify at what power of 3 I am going to get a remainder of either plus 1 or 0 or minus 1. So let's say I have 3 power 1 when divided by 11, the remainder is going to be 3. When 3 square divided by 11, remainder is going to be 9. When 3 cube divided by 11, remainder is going to be a 5. When 3 power 4 divided by 11, remainder is going to be a 4. When 3 power 5 divided by 11, remainder is going to be 1. So I get a remainder of 1 when 3 power 5 is divided by 11. So this 3 power 333 has to be expressed in terms of 5. So what am I going to do? So 3 power of 5 to the power 66. So that is 3 power 5 written 66 times, and I will be left out with 3 more 3's. And when I divide this by 11, so 3 power 5 is going to give me a remainder of plus 1. So that means I am going to get a remainder of 166 times. So using multiplicative principle of remainder, I can write this as 1 to the power 66, and this is going to be a 27 divided by 11. So 1 to the power 66 is 1, and 1 into 27 is 27 by 11. When I divide 27 by 11, the remainder is going to be 5. So option D is the answer for this question. Now in this question, a function f maps the set of natural numbers to whole numbers such that f of xy is equal to f of x into f of y plus f of x plus f of y for all x and y, and f of p is equal to 1 for every prime number p. Then the value of f of 16,000 is my question. Now I have f of p equal to 1. So whenever you get questions like this, try to identify the pattern by substituting some initial values for the input variable. So I'm going to keep the prime number as 2. So output is going to be 1. If I have to calculate the value of f of 4, what will I do? This is nothing but f of 2 into 2. So using this given equation, I can write this as what? F of 2 into f of 2 plus f of 2 plus f of 2, which is going to be a 1 into 1 plus 1 plus 1, which is going to be a 3. If I have to calculate the value of f of 8, say, so then this can be written as 2 square into 2, which is nothing but f of 4, which is nothing but f of 2 square into f of 2 plus f of 4 plus f of 2, and this will be 3 plus 1 plus 3 plus 1, which is going to be 7. Now you are able to identify the pattern, right? See, f of 2 is equal to a 1, which is nothing but a 2 power 1 minus 1. Similarly, f of 4 is equal to 3, which is equal to a 2 square minus 1. F of 8, which is 2 cube, is equal to 7, which is nothing but 2 cube minus 1. So I'm going to generalize this as what? If I get a prime number in 2 powers, not prime number, numbers that are expressed in powers of 2, then it can be generalized as 2 power n minus 1. Now I have to calculate the value of what? F of 16,000. This can be written as f of 2 power 4 into 10 to the power 4. Again bringing 10 in terms of prime numbers, 2 power 4 into 2 power 4 into 5 power 4, which is going to be f of 2 power 8 into into 5 power 4. So again using the same equation, I can write this as what? F of 2 power 8 into f of 5 power 4 plus f of 2 power 8 plus f of 5 power 4. So I need the value of f of 2 power 8. That can be found using this generalized equation, right? But I need the value of f of 5 power 4. So what happens if my input is 5? Again a prime number is equal to 1. If I have to find the value of f of 25, say 5 square, then this is 5 f of 5 into f of 5. Again this can be written as what? F of 5 into f of 5 plus f of 5 plus an f of 5. So which is going to be a 1 into 1 plus 1 plus 1, which is going to give me a 3. Now let's say I have to calculate the value of f of 125. So there is 5 cube, which is equal to a 5 f of 5 square into f of 5 plus f of 5 square plus f of 5, which is going to be a 3 into 1 plus a 3 plus 1, which is going to be 7. Again I'm able to find out a pattern, right? F of 5 is equal to 1, which is nothing but 2 power 1 minus 1. F of 5 square, which is 25, which is equal to a 3, which is 2 square minus 1. F of 5 cube is equal to a 2 power 3 minus 1, which gave me a 7. That means f of any prime number to the power n is equal to 2 power n minus 1. So we have generalized the second part also. So then I can straight away apply this in the final equation. F of 2 power 8 is 2 power 8 minus 1, which is going to be a 255. And f of 5 power 4 is 2 power 4 minus 1, which is 15, plus 255 plus 15, which is going to give me 4095 as the answer for this question, option D. Now in this question, three circles of radii touch each other externally but do not cross each other. Two circles x and y are drawn such that both touch each of the three previous circles but do not cross each other. If the radius of x is more than the radius of y, then the ratio of the radii of x and y is the question. Now let me take the three circles inside the smaller circle as these three, and centers of these three I'm going to take it like this. So drawing from the details that is inferred in the questions, the figure is going to look like this. Now if I join the centers of these three circles, now this will be the radius. I'm going to take the radius as a, so this will also become a, this will be a, this will be a, this will be a, and this will be a. And I am to find the radius of the larger circle. I'm going to take this as the larger circle and the inside circle as the smaller circle y. And I'm going to take the center of the circle y as G. If this is G, now I'm going to take this triangle ABC, and ABC is what type of triangle? An equilateral triangle. An equilateral triangle, because all sides are equal. And in an equilateral triangle AG, let me draw a median first. I'm going to take it as AO, where AG by property, the point of concurrence of the median will divide the median in the ratio 2:1. So there is 2/3 of height, which is AO. Now AO is nothing but height of an equilateral triangle, which is given by the formula √3/2 into side. So AO is equal to √3/2 times of side, which is 2a, which is √3a. So that makes AG to be 2/3 of √3a, which will give me 2a/√3. Now I have to find the radius of x and y and ratio between these two radii. Now from point P to point G is the radius of the larger circle, that is PG. And let me take this as Q, this point Q. So QG will be the radius of the smaller circle. Now what is PG? AG plus the radius of the circle, three circles, this circle. And this is going to be AG minus R, because x radii must be greater than the radius of y circle. So AG is what? 2a/√3 plus radius is a. This is going to be 2a/√3 minus a, which is going to give me a 2 plus √3/√3 is to 2 minus √3/√3. So the answer is 2 plus √3 is to 2 minus √3, but none of the options says this, so I'm going to rationalize this. A 2 plus √3 divided by 2 minus √3, multiplying with the conjugate, I get 2 plus √3 divided by 2 plus √3. This is going to be a 2 plus √3 the whole square in the numerator, denominator a square minus b square, which will give me a 4 plus 3 plus a 4 √3 in the numerator divided by 4 minus 3 in the denominator. So which will be 7 plus 4 √3 by 1. So the required answer is 7 plus 4 √3 is to 1. Option B is the answer for this question. Now in this question, Beena incurs 19% loss when she sells a product at rupees 4860 to Sham, who in turn sells this product to Hari. If Beena could have sold this product to Sham at the purchase price of Hari, she would have obtained a 17% profit. Okay, so let's talk about Beena. Beena selling price is 4860 at a loss of 19%, and the selling price of Beena is nothing but cost price of Sham, which is 4860. Now selling price of Beena is 4860 at 19% loss, that is this selling price is nothing but 81% of the cost price of Beena. If Beena wants to earn a profit of 17%, then she must have sold the product at 117% of the cost price. The price would be what? Now 81% of the cost price of Beena is 4860, and 117% of cost price of Beena should be what? Simply cross multiply. I get 4860 into 117 divided by 81. Cancelling out, the selling price must have been 7020. Now this is the price at which the Sham is selling the product to Hari. So selling price of Sham is equal to 7020. That means profit of Sham will be selling price minus cost price. A 7020 minus 4860, which is going to be a 2160, and that is the profit made by Sham.